Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about 10 health habits that have truly changed my life. So a little bit of a backstory on this. After I gave birth to my son about 1.5 years ago, I started dealing with some health issues as far as like digestion and just overall. I just suddenly was not feeling well at all. And it was such a journey for me, and it was intense and it was crazy, and I learned so much about my health. I actually went to a naturopath and she helped me a lot. And so a lot of the things that I will be sharing with you guys comes from that, as well as I'm really just diving into learning so much more about nourishing my body and just living a healthier lifestyle overall. I'm just drinking an iced coffee and my kids are taking a nap right now, and so I figured it was a good time to sit down and film this for you guys. I think you will really benefit from some of these things, and so I really want to start diving into the wellness aspect of my channel. And if you guys like videos like this, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos on stuff like this, go ahead and comment down below. I'm super passionate about natural health and things like that, so I would love to share my journey with you guys. So let's jump right into the video. The first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is not eating for a span of 12 hours. Typically people eat from the minute they wake up until like the minute they go to bed, and it's really hard for your body to digest things when you just go and lay down. And I think the best piece of advice almost that I've gotten throughout this whole journey is to not eat for 12 hours. There's a huge hype right now about fasting, about intermittent fasting, and I think that's great, but we need to take baby steps. So if I eat dinner around 6 or 7, I don't eat until 7 the next day. That gives your body a full 12 hours to reset itself, and I think overall my energy is just so much better from that, and I definitely feel much more restored the next day when I give my body that time to rest. And also I think pairing that with like good sleep and not eating for a full 12 hours is really essential to our well-being. So the second thing that I want to talk to you guys about kind of goes hand in hand with the first thing that I shared with you about not eating for 12 hours straight. Now, after I don't eat for 12 hours straight, I do not like to throw something really unhealthy in my body. So typically I will wake up and have a green smoothie, and I just want to put something in my body that is going to nourish and just feed it in such a good way. I don't want to like wake up and have a peanut butter cup, although that happens sometimes and that's okay. I want to start my day with something really solid. So I usually do like a smoothie with some almond milk. I have like a green superfood powder that I use. I also add like a huge heaping handful of greens. I add a banana, and I have been recently adding about 2 tablespoons of bone broth powder, and it's just unflavored and you don't taste it, and it's really good. The green superfood powder that I use, if I can find it, I will link it down below. I feel like when we start our day off with something that is really nourishing and something that is just helping our body function at the best possible level, then our day is just so much better, and then that way we are definitely more on track to make better decisions throughout the day. So starting your day off strong right after having that 12-hour period of rest and just restoration for your body. That is number 2. The third thing that I want to share with you guys that really has helped me overall in this health journey is consuming fermented foods. So probiotics are great. Taking a probiotic is awesome. I don't always take a probiotic. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends. Sometimes I run out of a probiotic and then I just forget to purchase it at the store again. So I really just try to include foods that are fermented into my diet. For example, usually when I wake up first thing in the morning, even though I'm not immediately consuming a smoothie or breakfast, I will make myself a big glass of water with apple cider vinegar, like the apple cider vinegar that has the mother and really, really good healthy bacteria for your gut. That is usually how I like to start my day, or sometimes even having just some water with lemon. It's got electrolytes and it's fueling your body in such a good way and just preparing you basically for the day ahead. Another good fermented food that I've been making, because I was having some gallbladder / liver issues, I have been making Beet Kvass, which is just fermented beets. And you don't consume the beets, but you consume the juice, and it becomes this red, like intense, like superfood juice. So all you do for the Beet Kvass, I will find a recipe for you guys and I can link it in the description below. All you do for the Beet Kvass is you just chop up a beet, like you just cube a beet. You obviously clean it off first, cube up a beet. You put it into a big mason jar and you fill the mason jar with water, and I think I put a tablespoon and a half of salt. I'll link it below so you guys can see the exact amount. That is really also another really good thing to start your day with. I like to start my day with like a tablespoon or more of Beet Kvass, and I feel like it just helps cleanse your liver, helps cleanse your digestion, and it's just a great like iron-filled superfood to start your day with. Obviously, some popular fermented things would be like kombucha, sauerkraut. Those are really, really great, and I love both of those, and I try to just like get as much of those types of things when I can. You can also, I'm pretty sure you can ferment most veggies, and you can do it right on your counter, right in a mason jar. And there actually is a video that I recently watched about fermenting vegetables, and I can link that down below too. I will try to link a bunch of stuff, a bunch of resources for you guys where I've gotten a lot of my information and the places that I love to learn about these things. And the last point inside of fermented foods that I want to touch on is a sourdough starter. So you actually can make traditional sourdough starter, which is just made with white flour or wheat, or like a whole wheat flour. There's other flours that you can use, but you can also do a gluten-free sourdough starter. I've never made a gluten-free sourdough starter. I would like to try that in the future. When you make a sourdough starter, it breaks down the wheat in a way that is more digestible for your body, and there is also natural, healthy, good fermented bacteria inside of the sourdough starter. So a lot of people will have bread or sourdough English muffins or sourdough pancakes made from sourdough starter, and it does not affect them like traditional wheat bread or white bread would. And so I actually wanted to try that for myself. As far as that goes, I have been able to consume not like regular flour, regular white flour, without really having any complications. Now, I've never really had a problem with that until after I gave birth to my second child, which I said before. That is when I started realizing there was digestion issues, and this actually has been great because then I can make sourdough pancakes on the weekend and I can have a few of them and I don't feel like horrible, like, oh my gosh, I should have never eaten this. This was the worst decision of my life. Greatest thing that I have found recently is a sourdough starter. And I will also link down below a good recipe for starting a sourdough starter, and you can also purchase sourdough starters through websites and such. So number 4, the fourth thing that I want to share with you is just more of a mindful thing. You just want to listen to your body. I think a lot of times we can overdo certain foods or certain things. Specifically for myself, I don't feel like I get really jittery when I have caffeine. There's just days where I feel like coffee affects me perfectly fine. And then I feel like there's days where coffee affects me really negatively and I start to almost feel foggy and just very strange. And at that moment, it's easy to feel like, oh, maybe I should just have a little bit more coffee and it'll help wake me up. But I've learned for myself that in those moments when I feel like that, the best thing for me to do is to just not have any more coffee, pour myself a big glass of water and drink that instead. Listening to your body, usually it's like if you're indulging in something, it's like, oh, I had 3 cookies. I totally want to eat 3 more, but I just don't feel like I would feel great if I did that. You know your limit. If I feel like, you know what, no, I don't need to have that right now, I'm not going to have it. And if I feel like, you know what, yeah, I think I could eat that, then I will go for it. So I hope that was helpful. So for number 5, I'm going to touch on something that I know is like probably one of those things that we all know is bad and we don't want to face it, but it's sugar. Here's the thing. I think removing sugar from your diet is super important, but I don't think restricting yourself from sugar for the rest of your life is necessary unless you absolutely feel like you have to do that. I have had so much success and I have felt so good when I cut out sugar for a period of time, when I just like fast from sugar. I do like to consume honey. I usually have honey in my coffees or like a maple syrup. The point I'm trying to make is remove sugar, but not forever. Remove sugar for a period of 2 weeks and see the difference in your body. It's super hard at first. It's hard to make that conscious decision of, I'm gonna stop eating sugar, and then trying to stick to that. So during those first 4 days, or just that detox period where your body is weaning itself off of sugar, I think it's important to really incorporate healthy fats and good proteins like grass-fed beef or wild-caught fish, because then you're really you're nourishing your body and you're strengthening your body, and so your body is not going to crave as much sugar as it was. Trust me guys, I've been there. I think after I gave birth to my daughter and after I gave birth to my son, I was super addicted to sugar on a level that was just not good. But once I did really detox off of sugar, I think ever since then it's probably been, oh my gosh, it's probably been almost a year. We're out as a family, I'll still enjoy like a donut or a cupcake here and there, but that is not like my everyday, which cookies and like chocolate, that would have been my everyday before. So number 6 is not necessarily something that you put into your body like food wise. This is just something that I feel like if I don't share this, I'm not really being true to who I am. And that would be prayer and reading the Word of God. I have been a Christian my whole life, but I really fully dedicated my life to Jesus when I was about 18. When I met my husband, we both made this decision, and when I say my life has never been the same, my life has never been the same. Getting in the Word daily and praying, especially praying out the Word of God over my life and over my family, is the greatest weapon I feel like I have, because I do believe in the power of God, and I do believe that God is our healer and God strengthens us and God carries us throughout the day, and that we can truly lean on Him. If you're watching this and you don't know the Lord, if you don't know Jesus, that's okay. And if you don't believe in Jesus, that's okay. These are just my 10 tips for myself, and I just hope that this can encourage you guys too. Okay, number 7. Number 7 is a good one because it gives you a little bit of leeway in your life. It gives you a little bit of space to breathe and just relax and not be so tense. Number 7 is moderation. Moderation, guys. Don't say, I'm never gonna eat a cookie again, or just put yourself on such a strict regimen that you can't enjoy your life. Because that is where, that's where this just becomes the complete opposite. And then I'm sitting there on my couch eating a whole tub of cookie dough. These little decisions are not going to kill you. Good to just step out of the box sometimes. Step out and just be like, I'm not gonna be so strict. I'm not gonna be so intense. Go out with your family, go out with your kids and get ice cream and just enjoy that special time, and know like this is a treat. These things are meant to be treats and they're not meant to be constant. Okay, number 8 is detox. Now, this is a very broad word. I think cleanses in general, there's so many different cleanses out there. There's parasite cleanses, there's liver cleanses. I think just fasting from sugar is a good cleanse. I think fasting from refined grains is a good cleanse. There's so many things that you can do to just detox your body. Because I was having liver gallbladder issues, I've done a series, probably about 4 or 5 liver flushes, and I can link the program that I did down below in the description. I was feeling really rough when I started this journey. I remember I would eat things and I would feel dizzy, and I would feel a fatigue that was so tangible and so intense that I just felt like I couldn't be a good mom to my kids, and it was really hard on me. And so I looked into, I know my husband did a liver flush before I ever attempted one, and he had really good results from it. So I went for it, and I want to continue. Cleanses in general, there's supplements that cleanse you. I think even going to see a naturopath, if you are struggling with things physically, like going to see a naturopath and getting their perspective on what's going on inside of your body is really helpful. Okay, number 9 and 10 are more cliche things that we have definitely heard before, but definitely have had a big impact on my life. Number 9 is get your body moving. If you feel overwhelmed by the idea of exercise or getting your body moving, it does not have to be overwhelming. Just remember baby steps. Just go for a walk. Just walk down to we don't have like a mailbox in front of our house, so we have to walk to a mailbox, a shared mailbox. Just walk to your mailbox. Just go on a walk with your kids. Just go on a walk by yourself, put in your headphones and just relax, or just go on a walk and just take in nature. Go on a hike with friends. I know at this current time in our world that is not the best option, but it will be at some point. Sometimes I will just randomly just do some burpees or some squats, and it's like I know that I got my blood pumping, I know my heart rate went up, but I always feel like those days are so much better than when I don't intentionally take a few minutes to get my body moving. Last but not least, number 10. Number 10 is drink lots of water. I am not good at this, but when I am good at it, I feel great. And I think the best way for me is to just always have a cup of water near me so that I'm drinking it. I will challenge myself sometimes, and I'll take a cup, I'm drinking this iced coffee, and I'll fill it with water, and I'll say, okay, I have to drink 2 of these, or I have to drink 3 of these before 9 a.m. And so it's a good, it's something that just keeps me mindful about drinking water, because especially I'm still nursing my son who's 18 months, and it's easy to forget, and then you just feel oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. You get to a point where you're wow, and then you realize our bodies really we need to constantly hydrate for our skin and just for overall digestion and everything. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I do not at all intend to come off intense or you have to do all these things. These are honestly just things that have really changed my life, and I feel I can honestly say that now I have more energy than I ever have. I don't know if I have more energy than when I was 5 and running around and crazy and carefree. Normally don't feel the need to take a midday nap, although I definitely have my days. And I also just need to stick this disclaimer in here. I am not at all a doctor. I am not a medical professional. So these are just things that I have seen that have worked for me in my life. And so if you guys are interested in more content like this, if you want me to dive into some supplements that helped me, if you want to hear more about my liver flush or whatever, let me know down below. Like I said, I'm really passionate about health and wellness. I always have been, but definitely more so since I went through this whole health thing. I also never want you guys to feel like you're not doing enough or that you're not good enough. That's not my intention on here. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.